what are the qualifications or eligibility of the candidates. Now, devotional service surpasses all liberation. Chapter 4, Nectar of Devotion. So let us see the first paragraph and the second paragraph is about 1.2.30. Tatraiva Srimad Adi Rajoptau 4.20.24. Fourth canto, 20th chapter, 24th verse. This speaks about it. न कामयेनाथ तदप्यहं क्वचिन् न यत्र युष्मच्चरणाम्बुजासवः महत्तमान्तर हृदयान्मुखच्युतो विधत्स्व कर्णायुतं येष मे वरः. Concerning this, Prithu also speaks. Concerning this, Prithu Maharaj is also giving his opinion. He is also speaking. He is also Shakti Avesh avatar of Lord, Prithu Maharaj. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have a benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. I want the benediction of at least 1 million years, for thus I may be here able to hear about your glories from the mouths of your devotees. Now, what Prithu Maharaj is asking benediction, I do not want liberation. Hmm? Where I cannot, there is no existence of the lotus feet, of your lotus feet. Because here, merging in Brahman, that means the personal aspect of Lord is unknown. So he says, I don't want, where I miss your lotus feet. Better is I have thousands of years so that I can hear your glories. That is how liberation becomes insignificant before pure devotional service. Okay, Aruna, read first two paragraph.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Shloka also, Mataji, or direct translation?
Your shloka. Your shloka.
Yes, Mataji, I have.
You can read direct translation also. If you want to read shloka, you can read. You can read
I will
if you want.
try. Okay. तत्रैव श्रीमद् आधिराजको तु नाकामयेनाथ तदप्यहं कवचिन् नायत्र नायत्र युष्म भुजस्वः
Bhujastava.
भुजस्वः महत्तं महत्तं तार हृदयान् मुखच्युतो विद्य विध विधस्त्वा कारण विधस्त्वा करण या कारणायुतम् एषमीवराः. ट्रान्स्लेशन
Karnayutam. 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 Eshamida.
कर्णायुतं
Vidhi.
कर्णायुतम्
Vidatsva.
एषमवरः.
Vidats. One minute. Vidatsva Karnayutam. Eshami Varaha. Varaha means give me Varadan. What
Okay.
Varadan? That I may have many, many Karna. Okay.
Okay.
Now
Translation.
read directly from Prabhupada. Prabhupada to paragraph.
Okay. Okay, madam. Fourth chapter. How three four paragraph, no, Mataji?
First two.
Okay, Mataji. How much a devotee is seriously attached to the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood from the statement of Maharaja Prithu, Adi Raj, which is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 20th chapter, verse 24. He prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thus, my dear Lord, if after taking liberation I have no chance of hearing the glories of your Lordship, glories chanted by pure devotees from the core of their hearts in praise of your lotus feet. And if I have no chance for this honey of transcendental bliss, then I shall never ask for liberation or this so called spiritual emancipation. I shall simply always pray unto your Lordship that you may Give me millions of tongues and millions of ears so that I can constantly chant and hear of your transcendental glories. The impersonalist desires to merge into the existence of the Supreme, but without keeping their individuality, they have no chance of hearing and chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord. Because they have no idea of transcendental form of Supreme Lord, there is no chance of their chanting and hearing of his transcendental activities. In other words, unless one is already beyond liberation, one cannot relish the transcendental glories of the Lord, nor can one understand the transcendental form of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
So only by hearing one can understand the transcendental form of law. 1.2.31 पञ्चमे श्रीशुकोक्तौ योजुष्टयजान् क्षितिसुज स्वजनार्तदारान् प्रार्थ्यां श्रियं सुरवरैः सदयावलोकां नैच्छन्नृपस्तदुचितं महतां मधुत्वित् सेवानुरक्तः मनसामभवोऽपि फल्गुः. So fifth canto, Sukadeva Goswami says, the king gave up everything that was difficult for others to give up. He gave up his kingdom, his wife, his family. His opulence was so great that even about Bharat Maharaj, this is that even the demigods envied him. Yet he gave up that wealth endowed with attractive glances. It was quite befitting for great devotees whose minds are attracted to the service of the enemy of Madhudaman. Indeed, even liberation is considered insignificant for those whose minds are attracted to the loving service of the Lord. So this is about Bharat Maharaj, who is the son of Rishabdev. Okay. So Abhava means Abhava, liberation. It is Falgu. Falgu means it is insignificant. Okay, Palash, read directly the Prabhupada in this
Hare Krishna
paragraphs.
Mataji. A similar statement is found in Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 14th chapter, verse 44. Sukadeva Goswami addresses Parikshit Maharaj there and says, the great soul King Bharata was so much attached to the service of the lotus feet of Krishna that he very easily gave up his lordship over the earthly planet of his affection for his children, society, friends, royal opulences, and beautiful wife. He was so very lucky that the goddess of fortune was pleased to offer him all kinds of material concession. By then, he never accepted any of these material opulences. Sukadeva Goswami praises his behavior of King Bharata very highly. He says any person whose heart is attracted by the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Madhusudhana, does not care even for that liberation which is aspired to by many great sages, what to speak of material opulences. Hare Krishna.
Now 1.2.32. So note down that with a small pencil you can note down. षष्ठे श्रीवृतोक्तौ ननाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्ठ्यं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसत्वा विरहय काङ्क्षे. So Vritasura is saying, O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Brahma says, nor I do want to, nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire for the perfection of Ashtanga Yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. If I have to give up your lotus feet, then I do not want anything. I do not want anything. Okay, this is next paragraph. Pushpa, can you read?
In the Bhagavatam 6th canto, 11th chapter, verse 25, there is a similar statement by Vratasura, who addresses the Lord as follows: My dear Lord, by leaving your transcendental service, I may be promoted to the planet called Dhruvaloka, the pole star, or I may gain lordship over all the planetary systems of the universe. But I do not aspire to this, nor do I wish the mystic perfections of yoga practice, nor do I aspire to spiritual emancipation. All I wish for, my Lord, is your association and transcendental service eternally. Hare Krishna.
Eternally, I want your service. So now, 33rd verse, a big chapter. Let's see how many quotations Rupa Goswami has given to prove moksha laguta kruta. For a devotee, moksha is lagu. Lagu means insignificant. Now, 33rd verse. Tatraiva Shri Ruptau Narayana Para Sarve न कुतश्चन बिभ्यति सर्व स्वर्गापवर्ग नरकेष्वपि तुल्यार्थ दर्शिनः. Whoever is Narayana Para sarve na kutashchala bibhyati. Whoever is completely surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he never fears for any stage of life, any condition of life. Swarga apavarga. For them, the heavenly planets, apavarga means liberation, naraka, hellish planets, they are all the same. For the devotees are interested only in the service of the Lord. So for them, everything is same, whether it's heavenly planet or it is merging in Brahman or Naraka, everything, hell, everything is same. Okay, Sudhari.
This statement is confirmed by Lord Shiva in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 17th chapter, verse 28, wherein Lord Shiva addresses Sati thus: My dear Sati, persons who are devoted to Narayana, Krishna, are not afraid of anything. If they are elevated to the higher planetary systems, or if they get liberation from material contamination, or if they are pushed down to the hellish condition of life, or in fact, in any situation, whatever they are not afraid of anything, simply because they have taken the shelter of the lotus feet of Narayana. For them, any position in the material world is as good as another. There is a similar statement by Indra. Shall I continue?
Now the 34th verse, 1.2.34. Tatraiva Indraktau. Now let us see what Indra says. Aradhanam Bhagavata Ihaman Nirashishah Etuni Chantapi Param Te Swata Kushala Smritaha. Indra also speaks the same. Those who are interested only in worshipping the Supreme Lord, who do not desire anything material from the Lord and who do not want liberation, are expert in understanding what is most beneficial for them. But does Indra follow this? He always wants his position, isn't it? But Indra says, those who worship Lord, they are not interested in all these things. That is what even the demigods, they also want to have the nature like devotee. You see, a pure devotee, he doesn't want anything. He doesn't want position, he doesn't want any material from the Lord, does not want liberation. That is why they respect pure devotees. Okay. So Pushpa, you continue 34.
Yes, Mataji. There is a similar statement by Indra, the king of heaven, in Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto, 18th chapter, verse 74. There Indra addresses Mother Diti in this manner: My dear mother, persons who have given up all kinds of desire and are simply engaged in devotional service to the Lord know what is actually their self interest. Such persons are actually serving their self interests and are considered first class experts in the matter of advancing to the perfectional stage of life. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Now let us see what Prahlad Maharaj says in 7th canto. Saptame Prahladoptau तुष्टे च तत्र किम् अलभ्यम् अनन्ताद्ये किं तैर्गुण व्यतिकरात् इह ये स्वसिद्धः धर्माद्यः किम् अनुगेण अगुणेन च काङ्क्षितेन सारंजुषां स चरणयोर् उपगायतां नः. So 7th canto Prahlad Maharaj says, nothing is unobtainable for devotees. That means everything he can get. Because the devotee's work is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. He is the cause of all causes, he is the original source of everything. The Lord is a reservoir of unlimited spiritual qualities. For devotees, therefore, who are transcendental to the three modes of material nature, what is the use of following the principles of religion, economic development, sense gratification, liberation, which are all automatically obtainable under the influence of the modes of nature? We devotees always glorify the lotus feet of Lord, and therefore we need not ask for anything in terms of dharma, kama, artha, moksha. So when he is getting something topmost, why he should ask something lowermost? He said bhakti is panchama purushartha. When he has got panchama purushartha, why should he ask for four purushartha? Okay, Sudha, read.
In 7th canto of Bhagavatam, chapter 6th chapter, verse number 25, Maharaj Prahlad says, My dear, my dear friends, born in atheistic families, you can please the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna then and there then there is nothing more rare in the world. In other words, if the Supreme Lord Krishna is pleased with you, then any desire you may have within the core of your heart can be fulfilled without any doubt. As such, what is the use of elevating yourself by results of fruitive activities fruitive activities which are automatically achieved in all events by the modes of material nature? And what is the use for you of spiritual emancipation or liberation from material bondage? If you are always engaged in chanting the glories of Supreme Lord and always relishing the nectar of the lotus feet of the Lord, then there is no necessity for any of these. By this statement of Prahlad Maharaj, it is clearly understood that one who takes pleasure in chanting and hearing the transcendental glories of the Lord has already surpassed all kinds of material benedictions, including the results of pious, fruitive activities, sacrifices, and even liberation from the material bondage. Hare Krishna.
Okay. By this statement, Prahlad Maharaj, it is clearly understood one who is taking pleasure in chanting in the glories, they have surpassed all kinds of material benedictions. Now, in the same 7th canto, 8th chapter, 42nd verse, let us see. Tatraiva shakrotau. Okay. So Indra is speaking this. Pratyanita parama bhavatah prayatana svabhaga दैत्याकृतान् तं हृदयकमलं तद्गृहं प्रत्यबोधि कालग्रस्तं कियत् इदम् अहो नार्थ शुश्रुतां ते मुक्तिस्तेषां नहि बहुमता Narasimha. So Indra is saying, O Supreme Lord, you are our deliverer, protector. Our shares of sacrifices are actually yours, have been recovered from the demon by you. Because the demonic king Hiranyakashipu was most fearsome, our hearts, which are your permanent abode, were all overtaken by him. Now, by your presence, the gloom and the darkness in our hearts have been dissipated. O Lord, for those who always engage in a service which is more exalted than liberation, all material opulence is insignificant. They do not even care for liberation, not to speak about karma. So, whoever has taken your lotus feet, that is a permanent abode, when he has such a wonderful home, why should he ask for some benediction? That's what is told here. Okay, directly read the paragraph. Aruna, one, two paragraphs.
Hare Krishna. Similarly, in the same seventh canto, eighth chapter, verse 42, when the demigods are offering prayers to Lord Narasimha, Indra, the King of Heaven, says, O Supreme One, this demons talk of our share of participation in the performances of ritualistic sacrifices, but simply by your appearance as Lord Narasimhadev, you have saved us from terrible fears. Actually, our shares in the sacrificial performance are due to you only because you are the supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices. You are the super soul of every living entity, and therefore you are the actual owner of everything. Long were our hearts always filled with fear of his demon Hiranyakashipu. But you are so kind toward us that by killing him you have removed that fear from within our hearts and have given us the chance to place your lordship within our hearts again. For persons who are engaged in the transcendental loving service of your Lordship, all the opulences which were taken away from us by the demons are counted as nothing. Devotees do not care even for liberation. What to speak of this material opulences? Actually, we are not enjoyers of the fruits of sacrifices. Our only duty is to always be engaged in your service, for you are the enjoyer of everything. The purport of this statement by Indra is the beginning from Brahma down to the insignificant ant. No living entities are meant for enjoying the material appliances. They are simply meant for offering everything to the Supreme Proprietor, the personality of Godhead. By doing so, they automatically enjoy the benefit. The example can be cited again of the different parts of the body collecting foodstuffs and cooking them so that ultimately a meal may be offered to the stomach. After it has gone to the stomach, all the parts of the body equally enjoys the benefit of the meal. So similarly, everyone's duty is to satisfy the Supreme Lord, and then automatically everyone will become satisfied. Hare Krishna.
Okay. 1.2.37. Ashtame Shri Gajendra Shri Gajendra was also speaking. He called Lord Na to relieve him. He was in danger. The main purpose of calling Lord was for what? To get a kingdom more higher than his great grandfather Brahma. That means he went to Lord with all the desires. But here, strictly spoken, a devotee does not have any other desire. So, what happened when Lord came? He says, Ashtame Shri Gajendroktau, in 8th canto it is there, Ekantino ya yasyana kanchanartham वाञ्छन्ति ये ये वै भगवतः प्रपन्नः अत्यद्भुतं तच्चरितं सुमङ्गलं गायन्तानन्दसमुद्रमग्नः. So Gajendra says, unalloyed devotees who have no desire other than to serve the Lord, worship Him in full surrender, always hear, chant about His activities, which are most wonderful and auspicious. Thus they always merge in an ocean of untranscendental bliss. So whoever is serving Lord very sincerely and seriously, they have all auspiciousness. They don't have to seek anything. Okay, 37th verse. Parash, read.
A similar verse is found in 8th canto, 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, verse 20. Gajendra says there, My dear Lord, I have no experience of the transcendental bliss derived from your devotional service. So therefore I have asked from you some favor. But I know that persons who are pure devotees and have by serving the lotus feet of great souls become freed from all material desires, are always merged in the ocean of transcendental bliss, and such are always satisfied simply by glorifying your auspicious characteristics. For them there is nothing else to aspire to or pray for. Hare Krishna.
For a devotee, there is nothing like a list of prayers are there. Or they don't aspire for anything. They just have to serve. No, 38th verse. Till 40 will do. Okay. This goes up to it goes up to 59. So I think we can do up to 40. 39th verse. No, Durvasa Muni, na 38th verse. 38th verse. Navame Shri Vaikunthanathoptau Masevaya Pradam Te Salokyadi Chatushtrayam Nechanti Sevaya Purna Utonyat Kala Viplutam. So Lord of Vaikuntha says, my devotees who are always satisfied to be engaged in my service, loving service, are not interested even in the 4 types of liberation. That is Salokya Shastri, Salokya Sarupya, Samipya Shastri. They are not included that Ekatvam, becoming one with God, that has been rejected. So the devotees who are engaged in loving service, they are not interested in all these things. Salokya Shastri, Samipya, Sarupya, Ekatvam, we saw that verse. When then is to be said of such perishable happiness or elevation to the higher planetary systems? So they don't have interest in all these things. Diyamanam na pashyanti na minamat sevanam jana. Don't give me anything if it is not including your devotional service. Like you are called in mother's house and she's not allowing you to touch anything. You like to go again? She has to allow, isn't it? So now that is what is given here. So my devotees are not interested in any of the 4 types of liberation. Okay. Aruna, read.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. In the 9th canto of the Bhagavatam, 4th chapter, verse 67, the Lord of Vaikuntha replies to Durvasa Muni thus: My pure devotees are always satisfied being engaged in devotional service, and therefore they do not aspire even after the 5 liberated stages, which are: first, to be one with me; second, to achieve residence of my planet; third, to have my opulences; Fourth, to possess bodily features similarly to mine. And fifth, to gain personal association with me. So when they are not interested even in these liberated positions, you can know how little they care for material opulences or material liberation. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Now in 39th verse. Sri Dashame Nagapatni Suto Nagapatnis. Kaliya's wives. न नाकत्पृष्ठं न च सर्वभौमं न पारमेष्ठ्यं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धेत् अपुनर्भवं वा वाञ्छन्ति यत्पादरजप्रपन्नः. The wives of Kaliya says in 10th canto, those who have attained the dust of your lotus feet have never hankered for kingship of Dhruvaloka, limitless sovereignty, the position of Brahma, or rulership among the earth. They are not interested even in the perfection of yoga or in liberation itself. So those who have attained the lotus feet never hanker for anything. They never hanker for the loka like Dhruv Loka. They don't want sovereignty, they don't want position, they don't want rulership. They just want to serve Lord. Pushpa read 39th verse.
There is a similar prayer by the Nagapatnis, wives of the Kaliya serpent, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 16th chapter, verse 37. The Nagapatnis say there, Dear Lord, the dust of your lotus feet is very wonderful. Any person who is fortunate enough to achieve this dust does not care for heavenly planets, lordship over all the planetary systems, the mystic perfections of yoga, or even liberation from material existence. In other words, anyone who adores the dust of your lotus feet does not care a fig for all other perfectional stages. Hare Krishna.
40th verse. Tatreva Shiveda Vedas what has been given. Duravagamatma Duravagama Duravagamatma Tattva Nigamai Tattva Tattva Tava Tanus Charita Mahamrutabhi Amrutbhi Amrut Amrutabhi Parivarta Parishramanaha न न परिरक्षन्ति केचिदपवर्गम् अभीश्वरते चरणसरोजहंसकूल सङ्गोपृष्ठः गृहीतः ग्रह. So the personified Vedas, they pray as follows. My dear Lord, whose fortunate souls have forgotten, relieved from the fatigue of material life by diving into the vast ocean of your opulence, which you enact when you manifest your personal forms, your personal forms to propagate the unfathomable signs of the self. These rare souls, indifferent even to liberation, renounce the happiness of home and family because of their association with devotees, which are like flocks of swans enjoying at the lotus feet of the Lord. So there are only few fortunate souls who are diving in the nectar ocean of Lord's pastimes. So one of the reason why Lord performs the pastimes here is just to give bhakti and make the devotees enjoy the lotus feet of Lord. Okay. So now here 40th is. So Sudha read.
There is a similar statement in 10th canto, 87th chapter, verse 21, wherein the Shrushti, the Vedas personified, pray to the Lord as follows. Dear Lord, it is very difficult to understand spiritual knowledge. Your appearance here, just as you are, is to explain to us this most difficult subject of knowledge of spirit. As such, your devotees who have left their domestic comforts to associate with the liberated acharyas, teachers, are now fully immersed in the devotional service of your lordship, and thus they do not care for any so-called liberation. Hare Krishna.
Next paragraph also. Same. Next paragraph.
In ex- In explaining these verses, it should be noted that spiritual knowledge means understanding the self and the super soul or super self. The individual soul and the super soul are qualitatively one, and therefore both of them are known as Brahmans or spirit. But knowledge of Brahman is very difficult to understand. There are so many philosophers engaged in the matter of understanding the soul, but they are unable to make any tangible advancement. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that out of many millions of persons, only one may try to understand what is spiritual knowledge, and out of many such persons who are trying to understand, only one or few may know what is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, this verse says that spiritual knowledge is very difficult to achieve, and so, in order to make it more easily attainable, the Supreme Lord Himself comes in His original form as Shri Krishna and gives His instruction directly to an associate like Arjun, just so that the people in general may take advantage of this spiritual knowledge. This verse also explains the liberation that liberation means having completely given up all the material comforts of life. Those who are impersonalities are satisfied by simply being liberated from the
Impersonalis.
material circle.
Impersonalis, not impersonality. Impersonalis. Nirakar Brahma
Im-
Tattva.
Impersonalists are satisfied by simply being liberated from the material circumstances, but those who are devotees can automatically give up material life and also enjoy the transcendental bliss of hearing and chanting the wonderful activities of Lord Krishna.
Okay. Then what to speak of yoga siddhis and liberation? They're even more detestable. The devotee do not want anything at all arising from the achievement of those goals. Goal is only attaining the lotus feet of Krishna. He desires only me, the goal of the sadhana. I am greater than any other goal of human endeavors. Lord says, I am greater than anything else. You attain me, that is enough. He has offered his soul to me, Maya Arpitatma. Okay. So 40th we did. 40th. Something else. Okay. Truth about the Atmatattva is given. Truth about how devotion is most important, that has been given. Okay. Stop here. Panchakalpatarubhasya Sindhu Vyavacha Patikaram Pavanebhyo.